I'm Tiana.
And I'm Kara.
And this is the second episode of TK TV, where we will discuss all of the TV that we can cram into our daily lives and present it to you for discussion. For our first few episodes, we will be discussing the pilots of all the new shows of 2021.
In this episode, we will be discussing the pilot for The Big Leap. Please bear in mind that there may be mild spoilers for this show, so watch at your own risk. Please enjoy, subscribe, and let us know what you think in the comments.
So, The Big Leap airs on Fox on Mondays at 9. It is a show within a show about a producer putting on a reality TV show about regular people trying out to be dancers for a big production of Swan Lake in Detroit.
Obviously, this is a really risky premise for a show, and it offers a lot of opportunities to be very meta, which I kind of love because I love meta shows.
I honestly instantly fell in love with Gabby. I like this show. I'm very surprised that I like this show. This isn't my typical type of genre that I would tune into, but it kind of snatched me in that first episode. I was like, dang, okay.
Yeah, I found it had a lot of joyfulness to it. Like, Gabby, who is, of course, she's definitely being framed as the main character, and I couldn't get a grasp on how old she was, but considering she graduated and then has what looks to be a 5-year-old child, I assume she's in her early to mid-20s.
I think he was 9. I think he was second grade-ish.
He looked so young.
Yeah, definitely looked young, but they did mention a couple things that kind of gave it away, but I don't know. I feel like I was drawn to her as a character, so they did a pretty good job with that.
She was very likable, and that's where, the meta part comes in, because I feel like the producer character, who was played by Scott Foley, was like, her. I like her. She's very likable. She's very relatable, and look at, we don't even know what she is. He's such an asshole about it, but I love that, the meta joke of, yes, she's very relatable as a main character, and you do want to root for her.
Yes, definitely.
And I liked her friend, too, / former boyfriend.
Yeah.
Who ended up being gay, of course. That scene where she tries to recruit him in the bowling alley, it looked like straight out of Glee for me.
It did. I mean, I feel like they're trying to pull from a few shows that may have been successful in this kind of a theme, or maybe it was just we're trying to put together as many good feels or funny bits that we can to draw viewers in, but I mean, they did a good job overall.
I have to say, speaking of funny, probably the most funny part for me in the pilot was when Julia, the suburban mom who is obsessed with how she presents herself on social media, goes to the Apple store and tries to get advice on whether or not watching porn is cheating. That whole bit was so funny to me.
That was hilarious. And then it even struck up a debate between the employees at the quote-unquote Apple store, and it was awesome. And then, part of me is oh, she's gonna end up divorced by the end of the season.
Yeah, probably.
But, yeah, because you can see her trying to, break out of her shell.
Than I thought it would be in the trailer. The trailer made it look like she was this, poor, neglected housewife who you would feel really bad for.
Oh, okay.
So, I think that the trailer made her seem very sympathetic, but then I was surprised to see that her husband kind of had a point. He was a dick about it, and her kids were kind of mean, but I kind of got hit where he was coming from when he wanted their lives to be very private, and then she went and signed them all up for this reality show, which would put them right in the spotlight.
Yeah, honestly, I thought her kids were brats. I don't think they were just, I want to stay private. I really think her kids were just, embarrassed by her, which is kind of annoying. But, I mean, they were teenagers, so that makes sense. But the husband, he did have a better point of, I just want our lives to stay private. I just don't want, other people knowing about the ins and outs of our lives.
So, let's talk for a minute about the setting, which is apparently Detroit. I did not know that.
Lies.
I know. I did not know that going in. I didn't realize it was set in Detroit, and then that opera house they pulled up to in the first scene, I was like, that is way more ostentatious than the Detroit Opera House, which is a very modest front. So I see why they did it, but it felt very dishonest. I mean, to have those, like, overhead shots of Detroit, but then clearly they did not film this pilot in Detroit. I really hope that future episodes, they do consider moving production to Detroit.
I would hope so. Maybe it was just a matter of, COVID restrictions or whatnot, because I do feel like a lot of shows do try to stay true to the area that they're attempting to use or, portray. But, I did find it funny. Like, the very first time that they mentioned Detroit, I was like, wait, but they're not.
right. And they threw a little, like, local flavor in there by having one of the characters, Mike, be a former auto worker who was laid off at the beginning of the pandemic, and his depression caused his wife to leave him, and because of that, he's got nothing going on for him, so he tries out for the show. I wasn't totally enamored with this character, but I did love that his friends were very supportive.
His friends are amazing.
Right.
I want friends like his friends. They supported him despite the fact that they were like, I don't think this is a good idea, bro, but, they showed up to the audition, they're cheering him on, and then, they're continuously trying to pick him up throughout the episode, and I truly enjoyed his friends. I was surprised.
It definitely added to the uplifting quality that I think is this show's strength right off the bat.
Yeah.
And of course he had immediate, adorable chemistry with Paula, who was played by Piper Perabo, previously of Coyote Ugly fame. She was really interesting too. She apparently has a secret that she also worked for the same auto industry that Mike worked for, except she worked in restructuring, which meant she was responsible for his firing. And that's obviously something that's going to come into play down the road, and it will be pretty painful when it does come up.
Yeah, and I feel like this is kind of like a theme that's reused over and over again, where it's like, you didn't tell me, and you're the reason why my life sucks, but they still end up together anyway. And also, they did mention that she's a cancer survivor, but they did sneak peek some drugs in her apartment. So part of me is thinking that she's not done with this cancer battle, and maybe she's just managing the pain, and she doesn't have much longer to live, and she's just going all out on living life at this point.
That could definitely be where they're going with it, and if so, that'll be very heartbreaking, because I'm already rooting for her and Mike, even though Mike's a little bit pathetic.
Kind of, but they were cute.
Definitely provided the cringiest moment in the premiere.
Yeah, but I really think they would be cute together. I'm hoping, my prediction of her still having cancer and her just trying to, make the most out of life is wrong. But that's my gut feeling right now on this show.
There were definitely a lot of characters, like way too many to provide adequate focus in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So this pilot for sure focused on Gabby first and foremost, and then Julia and Mike as secondary characters, but there is definitely a lot to learn about the rest of the cast that I think we're going to pick into as the show goes on. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking forward to it. I was a little surprised that what I feel like are the two most recognizable cast members, Scott Foley and Piper Perabo, kind of took a back seat to the lesser known actors, and I do look forward to seeing their characters be brought into the spotlight a little bit more. Especially Scott Foley's Nick character, because I love him. I find him so charming, even though his character here is a bit of a psychopath.
A little bit. I mean, he's really cashing in on other people's drama.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's reality TV,
Oh, for sure.
I'm pretty sure that's why they brought him in, is because, or, the quote-unquote network of this show within a show, they brought him in because they know he's ruthless and he's going to find all of the dirt to increase ratings. But at the very end, he did mention he thinks Gabby and the football player will end up together.
Yeah, what did you think about him? The former Lions player who
quote unquote, yeah,
is trying to rehabilitate his image.
I mean, I don't know. I have mixed thoughts on that, because I know, as a Detroit Lions fan, I am a diehard Lions girl, but I know they suck, and everybody knows they suck. But I don't know. I had mixed feelings about a Lion that needed to restore his image. But I liked him. He's definitely likable. I mean, you could tell that. I don't know if he was just flirting with her because he's a flirty person, or if he really was like, oh no, but you are beautiful.
I think given the nature of this show, it will evolve into a real relationship as it goes on, but there's going to be a lot of trust issues with those two.
Definitely.
I have to throw out one shout out to one of the judges. There were two judges on the show who, and it's hilarious because they actually want the show to succeed based on merit, whereas the producer character is only there to make sure that it succeeds based on ratings.
Yes.
But those two actually want the show to have good dancers and present a good show based on talent. And they're gonna, I think, struggle with that throughout the show. I have to give a shout out, like I said, to Mallory Jansen, who played the female judge, Monica. Very sharp-witted and mean, and pretty hilarious.
Yes.
Maybe a little less hilarious than the show made her out to be at first, but I think she'll probably grow on you. I really liked this actress on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Gallivant previously, and she's basically playing a similar character to Gallivant, who is just evil, but the kind of evil you can't help but love.
I mean, it was definitely, she grew on me pretty quickly, because I did find her hilarious, and, like, her judgments of people were spot on, and some of them I was like, oh my god, I agree with you. But I am very curious to see how she proceeds throughout the season, but yeah, they casted the perfect person for that role.
This is definitely a character-driven show with a lot of heart and a lot of humor, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes.
I am too.
So what is your prediction? How long do you think that the Big Leap will last?
Honestly, I'm hoping that it at least get a season 2. But, you know, knowing how cutthroat shows can be, I'm thinking this might be its only season.
I hate to agree with you, because I really love it right off the bat as well. I want it to be 6 seasons in a movie, but it will probably more likely be a one and done. Which is a shame, but such is the nature of network television.
So that's all that we have for you for episode 2. Please like and subscribe to our channel, share our video with your TV-loving friends, and don't forget to tell us what you think in the comments. See you next time!